Hello, welcome. My name's Luke from Korg. Thank you. I'm a product specialist in the UK, and I'm going to talk to you mainly today about the KingKorg because it's our flagship analog modeling synth, and it sounds incredible, as you'll hear in a minute. And it's very easy to program. That's the real beauty of it, because you've got so many hands-on controls right across the front panel. There's a couple of things which makes this unique as well as a digital analog modeling synth. First of all, we've modeled lots of different filters of our own, but also of other manufacturers. So, as well as the KingKorg's own filter, you have a Moog filter, Prophet 5, TB303, Oberheim, and I can access them via a dedicated screen here just by toggling through. You've also got an MS-20 filter in here as well. So we've got all of the kind of classic synth filters from today and yesteryear as well in here. The other thing which makes it unique for me as well, from a synth point of view, is this thing over here, which is actually a full analog valve. So this means that all of the sound is fed through that if you want to. And you can use it just at a low level, just to warm up the sound a little bit, or you can really crank it to drive to get that kind of real distorted sound as well, which you'll hear a bit later. So let's have a listen to a few of the sounds. Here we go. As you can hear, we've got an arpeggiator in here so we can make patterns. And I was using the pitch bend mod wheel there, which is assignable to do different things. So it could be filter, could be effects, could be anything. I'm going to let you listen now to a few of the different filter types. So KingKorg's own filter. We've got a classic Moog or Moog filter in here as well. And another characteristic of the KingKorg is the smoothness of the filter. Even though it's digital, you don't get any stepping, so you can have a nice bass synth like this. Can open up the filter, close it, it's nice and smooth. Got some other filter types in here. A slightly fizzier filter, which is the Prophet 5 one, suits really well for this kind of sound. And of course, the Oberheim, brilliant synth from the 80s, with the OBXA in particular, this kind of sound. And of course, on top of that, our own very famous MS-20 originally came out in 1978. We've just very recently reissued it as well, but we have a model of that filter in here for this kind of sound. More aggressive kind of sound filter. And of course, very famous TB303 as well, if you want to go all acid. Now, as you can see, on the top panel here, I've got access to pretty much the whole signal flow of the synth. So I've got my oscillator section where I can choose my waveforms, my filter section where I can change my filter model, my amplifier, LFOs and envelopes at the end. So say for instance I take this nice pad sound. I want to add a little bit of motion to the sound with an LFO. All I need to do is go to my LFO section And I've got a frequency and intensity knob, so I'll get that gentle kind of wobble. Obviously you can do your kind of dubstep bass and stuff using that LFO as well. Okay, so over on my left side and on your right, we've got the effects section. And what's nice about the effects is that you've got 3 blocks, if you like, which you can then just turn on and off by pressing the knob. So this next sound has got some nice delay on it. So let's have a listen to that. Here we go. So you can do the delay. If I want to get rid of that, turn it off. So you can hear that particular sound, what a big part of the sound that actually is, that delay here. If I want to take a sound from scratch and put a different effect on it, I can go to another block. So we've got a pre-effects section, which is things like distortions, overdrive, so quite aggressive sounds. The mod effects, subtler things like chorus, flanges, rotary, stuff like that. And then my reverb and delay, which I was just using there. So this one, I've just got a basic kind of saw wave sound. If I want to put some distortion on that, all I need to do is go to this section, swing it around to a distortion, and then the knob underneath will be the amount of drive. Without, with. So you've got that amazing effects section, very hands-on and usable, but also, as I mentioned earlier, we've got the tube. Now this has been turned on all the time so far, but at a low level. I can turn it on and off. I can adjust the drive, but I've also got a boost setting as well. So I can really crank it if I want to. So great for this kind of distorted, aggressive kind of sound like this. And as you can see, I can manipulate this, the reverb and everything using the mod wheel. Without the tube, just out so I can A/B it for you. So just to explain the structure a little bit, so far you've been mainly listening to just one waveform a lot of the time, or sometimes 2 sacs. But you've actually got 3 oscillators per part, and you've got 2 parts. They're called timbres, A and B. So you can stick up to 6 on top of each other, or split the keyboard and have 3 and 3. So, for instance, here we've got one single oscillator, which is a saw wave. If I want to stack another oscillator on top of that, I can, again, program the mod wheel to do that. So I've got access to 2 sounds, even in real time, just by swinging up the thing there. Or I could split the keyboard in half and have, say, a pad on my left and then a lead sound. So you can have 2 completely different things on the go. And that's where the KingKorg comes into its own, because it's great for production, but also from a live instrument, it's really good as well. So of course, we've got envelopes over on my right as well, near the LFOs. So if I want to get this sort of sound, it makes it very easy to apply an envelope either to the sound itself or to the filter. You can hear the filter opening as I play it very quickly, and I can change that. So I'm going to change my envelope here. It's already on filter, so all I have to do is change the attack to get it to open slowly, or quickly, or immediately. We've got an arpeggiator built in too. Great for playing patterns. Plus you can assign that arpeggiator to one or both of the parts we were talking about before. So we can have, on this particular one, we've got a bass sound down the bottom. But on the right, we've got this nice little square wave, which I can apply an arpeggiator to, and you got this. So the top part has been arpeggiated, but the bottom part isn't, so I can play a bass line if I want to. Or I can arpeggiate the whole thing, so I could stack 6 oscillators, arpeggiate that whole thing, or mix it up a bit like I've done there. We've also got a step arpeggiator, which is really nice. So this particular sound, the arpeggiator is on at the moment. But as you can hear at the moment, that's playing every step. But I can go into the menu here by going Shift Arpeggio. And I've got various things in here like swing, the resolution, so on, gate time. But also, I can go in and say, okay, I want to take out some steps. So let's take out step 3 and 5, for instance. And then you get more of a kind of syncopated feel like this. Turn it on. So all those steps you can just go in and bring them in and out. Brilliant for experimenting and getting some really nice cross rhythms and things like that sometimes. So that's the arpeggiator. Now, so far you've heard all synth sounds, so they're all like made from analog waveforms basically, analog modelled waveforms. But also in the KingKorg you've got some great sample-based sounds as well. So we've got some of our own classic sounds in here from the M1, for instance, stuff like this piano. And of course, this very famous sound, which is making a bit of a resurgence at the moment. So that's the original, basically the original M1 organ sound, which you all recognise, I can tell. And you've also got some great mellotron type samples in here as well, so you can model some of those classic mellotron sounds, strings and also flutes. So very, very versatile, as you can hear. Connects to your computer really easily as well, MIDI in and out. Of course, you've got USB, so you can integrate it very easily into productions. It's also a vocoder, so you've got a mic input, so you can use it just like the KongKorg. You've got this dedicated mic here, but you can plug any mic into the KingKorg, use it as a vocoder, and you've got the brilliant vocoder effects in there as well. Okay, so thanks for listening. My name's Luke Edwards from Korg. We've got all this stuff on the Korg stand, so go and check it out. Thanks for your attention.